Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite treats, one of my favorite dips in the whole wide world. This is my Queso Blanco dip. I am so obsessed. I hardly ever make it because when I do, I never leave the scene of the crime right here. I get my tortilla chips, I got my Queso Blanco, and I can't stop. So I'm going to share with you today. I'm choosing today because I have people over, and that is just a better chance of me not eating the whole thing by myself. If you agree, let me know down below. If you're like me, we're soul sisters and soul brothers and sisters. Okay, a saucepan. In the saucepan, all you're gonna do is add some half and half. Now, I also have my broiler preheated because I like to broil the very top of this to give it a really lovely, melty, bubbly, golden brown color, but it's not necessary. Then you need American cheese. Now, I know a lot of recipes call for American and Fontina, American and whatever. I like straight up American. I like the mildness of it. I love the pull of it. I love everything about just plain American cheese. And what I think works best, when you buy pre-shredded cheese is coated with like a powder substance of some sort, and I find that does not melt very well. So what I do is I just go to the deli and I say, hey, can I have 1 pound of white American cheese? And then I stack it together. I stack the slices together and cut them into cubes. The reason why I do this, like I said, it melts a lot better. If you were to go ahead and buy a bag of pre-shredded, like I said, it's got that powdery substance coating it and it keeps it from melting the way I want it to. That's why I do it this way, and I'm telling you, once you do it this way, you'll never do it any other way. Then I have a small can of diced mild green chilies, necessity. Then I have dried oregano and dried cumin, along with some salt and pepper. And for my toppings, I've got cilantro, pickled jalapenos, and some diced tomatoes. I have seeded the tomatoes because I don't want it to make the seeds and the excess liquid in the tomato can make my Queso Blanco a little bit runny, and I don't like that. Okay, my heavy cream, actually this is my half and half. It's almost where I want it. You see there's bubbles around the edge? Now turn the heat down and start adding your American cheese. And you just add it, and as it melts, you add the next few chunks, but you just gotta stir it the whole time until everything is melted. And this could take a few minutes, but you need to be patient. Don't throw it all in at once because it can all seize up together and not melt correctly. All right, my cheese is just about all melted. I'm going to add my jalapeno, or my chili, my green mild canned chilies, and then my cumin and my oregano. A good bit of pepper, and then you need a healthy pinch of salt. And then just kind of stir these around to combine, I would say for maybe about another minute or so, or until, well, just for about another minute, and then I'm going to take this off the heat. Perfect. This smells absolutely incredible. Now you can serve this just like this, but I like to pop it under the broiler for just a few minutes, and I've got a dish there. If you're doing this in a cast iron skillet, you don't have to transfer, but I like to just transfer into a separate dish, like so. And as this sits, of course, it will thicken, and it will thicken just within a few minutes. So you obviously wouldn't want to serve this, or I don't anyway. I don't want to serve this piping hot, but for just a few minutes, you'll notice that it makes the biggest difference in terms of texture. I'm going to pop this under the broiler just until the top starts to develop a lovely golden brown color. Then I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes, and then we're ready to dig in. This is why I broil mine. Okay, so if you love to make yourself a grilled cheese and the cheese just so happens to spill on the side and get caramelized and like crispy golden brown, that's what that tastes like. So that's why I broil it, because it's definitely worth the extra effort. But keep an eye on it because it only takes like 35 seconds. Well, every broiler is different, but they work really quickly. Okay, and now I just kind of sprinkle the top with I call these my confetti toppings, because you've got your tomato, kind of like, I don't want to call it a salsa. I don't like to add any lime juice or anything to this because, I'm not trying to make my Queso Blanco watery. Nobody likes a watery Queso Blanco. And then pickled jalapenos, because pickled jalapenos are one of the best things that has ever happened in the food world, ever of all time. I love them so much. I love them on anything and everything. So I like to add some around because I am one that really enjoys, you can also leave them out, of course. but I'm a fan, so I add them right in because they're my favorite. And then just a few leaves of cilantro, just to make it look good, you know? I mean, that's just gorgeous. Now, as one of my favorite women of all time, Miss Wendy Williams herself says, can we talk? Because this, I just can't. And if you could just smell it, you'd understand. It smells, look, see that cheesy goodness, like it creates, I want you to just see this. It creates like an outer layer. I want some of that jalapeno. I'm not afraid of some heat. Look how lovely and thick that is. I don't like it to be watery. I like it to be nice and thick. That's why you let it sit for a few minutes. And I also want to tell you, if you have any leftovers, don't you dare throw them out. Put them into the fridge, and then tomorrow just put it in a saucepan with just a little bit more of the half and half, and just cook it until it loosens and it becomes nice and runny again, and you got more queso blanco. I just can't. I just can't. That is what drinks are made of. So good. So creamy. To die for. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the written recipe. Here I go. Can't stop myself. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me. You have to make this weekend when your friends come over. You'll never get them out of your house, but you have to make it and share it with them. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Wow.